Howdy, how you doing? In this video, we'll be doing two things. Number one, we'll be analyzing, not just reacting, analyzing BAND-MAID's song Dice. And then number two, at the end of this video, we'll be announcing last week's winner. Now, if you haven't seen last week's video, well, you wouldn't know. So I put a link in the description if you want to check it out. But basically what we did, we ran a competition between myself and Roberto the Goat on who can scream better. And we asked our friends to vote on it. The votes are in. People commented and people participated in the poll that we posted in the community section. You are in for a treat for that as well. So stay around. Without further ado, let's get the analysis started. Let's go. Nice. A little nice bass and drum. All right. Already so much to talk about. So first of all, you hear the bass and drum duo, and what the drum is doing is hitting the snares on the 2 and the 4 of each bar. Check this out. 2, 4, hear that? And then, did you guys hear that whistle-like sound? Woo, that the guitar did? Listen again. Hear that? Wow, right? That whistly sound, by the way, is called a microphonic feedback, or just feedback. And this sound quite frequently is used for build-ups at the beginning of the songs when there's an intro, ba-da-ba, and then you get started. A very famous example of this is Slayer's song Raining Blood. For those who don't know, Slayer was a famous thrash metal band. They got very famous in the 90s and they were pretty huge. All right, so you see the guitar players are standing in front of the amps. Hear the sound? Now, if you got an electric guitar at home, you can actually recreate the same thing. It's a lot easier if you have a guitar with a single coil pickup, but you can also do it with the double coils. All you gotta do is to increase the volume knob, like maximize the volume knob of your electric guitar, and then stand in front of your amp or hold your guitar in front of your amp. If you got a big amp, it makes your life a lot easier. Increase the volume of the amp as well without, making yourself deaf. And then if you just wait a little, you'll hear that whistle sound starting to build up. All right, see if you can hear it again. It's coming. You got it. Some sweet 90s riffs. We like it. Did you guys hear the change in the vocals? There was a pitch shifter effect on it. So there was like this robotic electric kind of a sound-ish, right? It's either pitch shifter, probably a bit of a chorus there as well. Now, hear the change here now. Hear that? Guitar riff change. What did you notice about the drums when the vocalist said the first bit of the verse and then the second bit? What did you notice? The first time the drum was playing, just the kick drums. Hear the drums? With some hi-hats there, right? The second time, the rhythm was much more intricate. Right? An easy night for the guitar so far. All right, so let's go back for a second. So far, we had this sort of 90s sounding rock riff, right? And then here now, when we got to the verse, that's where sort of the J-rock kicks in. That's a little bit of a modern element. If I'm not mistaken, this song is on D sharp minor. They changed the mood from that 90s rock and rolly sound to more of a J-pop thing, but because they're staying on the same scale, that continuity is there. You just feel a change in the mood of the song. Call me, call me, call me. If we go back to the first verse, remember when we talked about how the drum is just, you know, doing the kick? Just like do 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 do. Right? That's the only thing that they're doing, right? So they're holding the same notes and they're going do 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 do, right? Now if I go to the second verse here, what do you hear? It's not do do do, it's hear that? So that's the difference. All right, so we finished the second chorus. Before we get to the guitar solo, I have a bit of a constructive feedback, right? The issue is that after the second chorus ended, so like right at the end of it, it took the guitars a little too long to fade out, so you don't hear the beginning of the bass solo really well. Have a listen, you know what I'm talking about. They just took a little too long. If it was me, I would have cut the guitars a little short, like not cut them, like I would have faded them out a little bit more strongly so that you hear the first bit of the bass. Can you hear it? Check this out. See that? Now you hear the bass well, right? And you could still hear the bass earlier on, but because the guitars just took their time on that power chord, it just, the first bit of the bass solo was just a little gone. Now to the guitar solo. And you guys recognized me playing it at the beginning of the video, right? I hope you did. It's a good guitar solo, which is like a typical sort of like a bluesy, rocky, you know, bend and release, quite casual. And then here what she does this tremolo picking, so fast picking, and then she alternates between a fretted note and an open string. That's what she did. And then we have this nice strumming. And then at the very end, if you play guitar and you do solos, that should be a very familiar phrase to you. So what she did was basically the minor pentatonic shape, the D sharp minor pentatonic notes. She actually did the same notes from slightly lower on the neck, so you just basically slide down as you go. The slides sort of add a bit of musicality to it, add a bit more flair to it. How good is that? That's a nice solo. Nice, simple, effective. All right, check this out. Here. This is the second thing in the song that I was like, man, I wish they did it just a little differently. I was really hoping that when they just finished that chorus, da 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 da, they just finished the song. That would have been such a strong finish to the song. Not only just because of the way they finished the song with the vocal being the prominent thing and the instruments are sort of going down a little earlier, but also at the very end as an outro, they're not really introducing a new element. They're sort of playing the same riff that they played at the beginning of the song. Not a bad thing. It's not like now, oh, you just ruined the song. No, it's a great song. Ah, man, I wish they did it differently. But yeah, that's just me. repeat it again. Didn't have to do any of that. Didn't have to do any of that at all. And then Konami had to do a bit of an outro to the outro, basically. And again, it's not the end of the world, but wouldn't it have been nicer if she just went da 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 and the whole thing ended? I don't know. Overall, this is a really good song. I think it does a super good job in mixing sort of this 90s rock and roll vibe with J-pop, and I don't know whether they've planned it out or they just naturally wrote it this way, but you have this sort of like verse that sounds like old schoolish rock and rolly, and then you have this bridge which is literally, in terms of the mood, is the intermediary between the verse and then the chorus, which is very J-rocky. Smooth sail. They literally tell you a story. They take you through it without really like bang, like something, you know, coming in and just shocking you out of nowhere. I hope you enjoyed this brief analysis of the song Dice so far, because we're about to jump to section 2. But before we do that, we've got another poll for you. Yeah. We're going to ask a question, we're going to put the answers in a poll, and then you get to go to the community section of the YouTube channel and vote on it. You can see that in the post. And the question is this: Dice, the song that we just analyzed, was the second song that I've ever heard from BAND-MAID. From Now On was the first ever song. Dice is the second ever song that I heard. The question is, what was the third ever song? Those who watch the older videos know exactly which song it is. See if you guys remember. Now, I'm not going to tell you which video it was. You're going to have to try to remember which song it was. What was the third ever song that we listened to in this channel? Vote on it, and we're going to announce the result in the next video. So with that said, let's go and check out the result of the last video, the competition between Mr. Sorenzo and Roberto the Spanish Goat. So this voting took place in two separate sections. So one was the comment section of the last video, and the other one was here. As you can see, there were 26 votes cast in the poll, and Roberto the Goat won by 85%. You guys, 85% of y'all thought that Roberto the Goat did a better scream than I did. And to make matters worse, in the comment section, there were like 7 votes, and all 7 of y'all voted for Roberto the Goat. I just got burned by Goat. Thanks, y'all. I hope y'all are happy with yourselves. It means a lot. So there you have it. Here's tonight's player of the game. And that's about it. Thank you so much for hanging out. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care of yourself.